Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my 21-week appointment. So the funny thing is, I guess under normal circumstances, you're not actually going to have a 21-week appointment. You're going to have an appointment whenever your provider wants to see you back. It just so happens that my midwife wanted to see me. It just so happens my midwife wanted to see me back 6 weeks from the last time she saw me, which was like 15 weeks, 16 weeks. So they went ahead and scheduled me for today. Today is December 2nd. We are in December, y'all. It's December. Christmas is about to be here. It's so crazy. Where did this year go? I'm very excited for the new year. But at the same time, it's always bittersweet at the end of each year when Christmas is fastly approaching. So, oh my God, somebody's parking next to me. It's always awkward when you're like filming and somebody's parking next to you. I'm like gonna stare them down to make sure they're actually pregnant, because I really can't stand when people park in expectant mother parking and they're not actually pregnant. So I'm like, I better see you in the clinic. You better be. I'm gonna start being like the parking police around here. It's just so rude. If you're not expecting, leave those like 6 spaces for expectant mothers that just, you know, need to park closer. Like, get here on time, people. Get here on time. Find ample parking. Get here on time. And then there was like 3 other spots open. Like, why did you park right next to me? Never fails. Okay, anyway, guys, so we're here at my 21-week appointment. This is a follow-up appointment for my last appointment with my oh God. So we're here for my 21-week appointment. It's a follow-up appointment with my midwife from my last appointment. So last time I saw her, she was asking me if I wanted to know the gender. So now that I know, we've known for 3 weeks now that we're having a boy. So 3 weeks, yeah. So we're just following up and checking my vitals, just making sure everything's good. I think it's really important to actually show up for your appointments in person rather than doing virtual, even if you're in good health. I had a friend, I haven't seen her in a long time. She lives here at Bragg too, but she recently gave birth and she had to be rushed in to give birth early because they found out she had extremely high blood pressure, and she had just been being seen virtually the whole time. I think she was only seen like twice throughout her pregnancy. And so she's like, make sure you're being seen like for every appointment. Just, you know, she's like, something tragic could have happened, but luckily they're okay. So I think it's really important. My midwife actually called to confirm, to make sure I was coming in. She's like, are we doing virtual or are we doing it in person? And I'm like, no, we're doing it in person. I just want to make sure my vitals are good, baby's good. It's a good peace of mind, you know? So the reason the girls are here is because they had today off from ABA. So Will's going to meet me here, and he is actually going to take the girls to, I don't know, he said they're going to do something. It's kind of a nice day. It's like 55 right now. I've just got my little comfy shawl scarf thing on situation with a comfy maternity sweater. I love this because it's got like a cute little tail. You can't see it now, but it's just comfy, cozy. So I've got this on. I mean, it just kind of beats the chill. I didn't really want to put on an actual like sweater because I have a pretty thick sweater on right now. So yeah, Will's on his way. It's 2:47. My appointment's at 3. So I'm already here. I just have to walk in. So just waiting for him to get here and take over for the girls. And yeah, I'm gonna ask about him coming to my next appointment, just because he hasn't been allowed. Like, your spouses haven't been allowed to any appointments because of the pandemic. So this is obviously a very different time, because he's been to all of their appointments when I was pregnant with both the girls. So this is just, it's really kind of, you know, a little bit hard for him. He's like, I would at least like to be at one appointment, but he is grateful. I'm glad I'm vlogging these, because in a way it does allow him to be a part of it as well as you guys. But you know, he gets to see what's happening. He gets to see what I did at my appointment. He gets to see what we talked about and discussed and all that. So I am glad I'm filming these. But anyway, all right, I guess I'm gonna find out where he is and get in there. It is freezing. It's like dropped to 50. Avery's eating a popsicle outside. We're back home. I'm about to make myself some decaf coffee, I think. Yes, I think it's one of those days and it's gonna be soothing. Okay guys, back from my appointment. I wanted to get cozy, change first into clothes that I did not wear to the hospital. And also I wanted to do my 21-week pictures, although I think the lighting, I have to do it like in the morning or earlier in the day because the lighting is not the best. Oh God, I can't sit you guys down. Ugh. So I'm just gonna talk. Hold on. Okay guys, so just got back from my appointment and I had to get some lotion for my hands because my hands are very dry this time of year. The air is very dry, which makes my throat feel dry, which freaks me out because you start thinking like, oh my gosh, do I have COVID? No, the air is just dry. I need a really good humidifier. So before baby gets here, I have one on my registry that I'm gonna get. But so I didn't get to film anything at my appointment because this was like a sit down where we went over a lot today. She answered a lot of questions. Sorry about that. So today she went over a lot of questions, concerns that I had, which I had a couple things I wanted to bring up. The biggest being question I had was, obviously at my anatomy scan, I had mentioned in previous video that at my anatomy scan, the doctor came back in at the end and, you know, said it was nothing to be concerned about at the moment, but baby's kidney, like the left kidney was measuring 5 point something and the other one was like at a normal measurement. So this is very, very common, very normal. I was really freaked out about that. Apparently this is like, it happens all of the time. My midwife said, she's like, I don't even know why we bring it up as like something that's abnormal because it's just so common. And she's like, maybe we should be trying to figure out if there's, you know, I don't know, something else. But she's like, don't freak out. Everything is fine. Everything looks fine. It was like, there's nothing to be concerned about. Obviously I have to tell you anything of their findings that are abnormal to their measurements or their standards. So we went over that. Everything was fine. I totally forgot she put in for a urine sample and I totally forgot to do that. I just remember that. Yeah, give your baby bottle. She's been really into giving the baby a bottle. So you guys see, now I'm gonna have to wear this baby all the time and never be able to set him down anytime the two of them are around, because if so, I might find them trying to take him. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to be keeping a very close eye on baby boy. So, okay. Oh, I have this noise. Okay. Sorry for the background noise. Avery's now inside. She decided she didn't want to be outside anymore. Of course, because I sat down to film. So anytime I sit down to do anything, my kids are like, oh, we're going to hang out. So she's playing with her little keyboard. But anyway, everything looked normal. So my blood pressure today, so the reason, that was the reason why I couldn't film. I didn't film in there because we were going over everything first. And then she's like, okay, let's check the heart rate. And by the time I was already laid on the table and she had the Doppler out, we were already finding the heart rate. So it was too late to grab my phone, but heartbeat's very healthy, steady in the 140s. And I learned I have a low-lying placenta today, which I didn't know. She's like, it obviously changes each pregnancy. She went over what that actually means. So it's not the same thing as placenta previa, where that covers, like the placenta's covering your cervix. This one means it's just almost right there at the cervix. So basically, we're going to look at this again in like 6-7 weeks. And if it's still low-lying, we're going to have to probably do a C-section. So that's something we're going to talk about at, like, not my next visit, but the following visit. So I did have 2 previous C-sections. So my first baby with Paisley, I was in labor. I labored, I don't know if I ever told you guys the story. So I labored for like 22 hours, something like that. I was pushing for like 3 hours. And she had an arrestive descent, which means she stopped coming down. So she just couldn't get through. Her head was there. She was visible. They kept telling me any moment, next push. Hours later, it didn't happen. So she had an arrestive descent. So I ended up having a C-section, and it was just not the experience I thought I was going to have for my first baby. And so with all of the stress that my body went through laboring first, I wound up with like what they call postpartum preeclampsia. I didn't really have it though. I mean, because I got a high blood pressure just from all of the stress from delivery. And then Paisley had a fever at delivery, at birth. So, and then because of my high blood pressure, I had to go to step down in ICU and be separated from my baby. It was just not pleasant. But once we were reunited up in the, my postpartum room, things were fine. But it was like a 4-day stay at the hospital because I went in Thursday. They induced me. She was born Friday. I stayed Saturday, Sunday. We went home Monday. So we stayed for 4 nights with Avery because the same midwife that I saw today, I remember seeing her for my very first OB appointment when I was pregnant with Avery. She had told me that sometimes second babies end up being larger. And so I really was terrified to go through the same experience, and I really didn't want to. She's like, you can try for a VBAC if you want to. We're in like the right hospital, because a lot of places, a lot of hospitals, a lot of doctors will not touch you if you want to do a VBAC. They don't want the risk of, rupturing placentas and running into emergency situations. But, the hospital where I am, it is a teaching hospital, and they're prepared for everything. And so they encourage it. So my next appointment, I'm going to go to see an actual doctor. She, put in for my appointment to see an actual doctor to do the counseling where the doctor will actually kind of measure everything and be able to measure and gauge the success rate of a VBAC. But she just gave me all of the lowdowns of that. So we're going to talk about that at my next appointment with the doc, and then go from there. I'll be more informed, and then I can decide. I don't have to decide that day whether I want to try for a VBAC or just do a repeat C-section. But again, if my placenta is in the same exact position or if it moves any lower at 28 weeks, then I'm going to have to have a C-section. So I will say the positive about a C-section is you know exactly when your baby's coming. You can schedule everything, so you can have help, the house cleaned, you can have everything ready. So, but anyway, we talked about that today. My blood pressure was 128/82, normal. I did notice a difference though in my blood pressure and weight during an afternoon appointment. She did point this out because I mentioned my weight. I'm not even going to tell you guys what my weight is. It is like, she said I only gained 11 pounds, but I feel like, I guess that's true. I've only really gained 11 pounds, but I just feel like the scales are like moving up fast. I'm not eating anything abnormal. I'm not doing anything. It's just happening. My body's just doing what it needs to do. And I did read recently, like your body is like holding on. It will like store up fat and, weight for breastfeeding. And I already feel my milk, I feel my breast tingling a lot every day, at least once a day. So my body's already trying to make milk. So that's already happening. So, but she said everything was normal, like my weight. You guys, I hope this video makes some kind of sense because I feel like I'm all over the place because my kids are in and out. It's crazy, but I have to film this while it's fresh in my mind, especially since I didn't get to film in the OB office. So, because I didn't capture any of this on camera, I feel like I need to do it right away while it's fresh in my mind so I don't forget, so I can relay the information. But yeah, so my weight is fine. She's like, this is your third pregnancy. Your body knows exactly what it needs to do. So it's just doing what it needs to do. And it's in memory mode. It's remembering what it needs to do. And it's just building for the baby and storing for the baby and for you. She's like, you know, it's okay. So because I was a little concerned, I'm like, I feel like my weight is just getting up there. But also I feel like my final weight, I'm going to weigh more with this baby than I did with the girls. I'm already like 5 pounds away from my final weight with Paisley. And we still have like, what, 17 weeks to go, something like that. So, but she said everything was totally normal. I'm 21 weeks and 2 days today when I'm filming this. So everything's fine. Yeah, but apparently I'm going to have to do another glucose test. I'm like, I really have to do this again. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, why did they have you do it the first time at 11 weeks? I'm like, I guess being over 35, being advanced maternal age. So what I asked this time, and if you don't know this, you don't have to drink the drink. You can ask to do the jelly bean test where you just bring in jelly beans and you eat those jelly beans. So I'm going to have to call the lab and find out their protocol if I have to get a specific type of jelly bean, but I won't have to do the drink again. I asked for the jelly beans, so I'm going to do that for my glucose test to see how my body withstands the sugar. So I'll have to do that, I think, just a few days before my next appointment, which is the appointment with the doctor where I'll talk about, you know, the success rate of a VBAC and all that stuff. So I'll have to do that. I forgot to do my urine today. I totally forgot when I left. And so I'm going to have to go back in the morning, maybe after I drop the girls off, and do the urine sample. And then hopefully I can pick up some paperwork because I dropped off paperwork to be filled out for like foster parenting certification, all that stuff, because you guys know we're in the process of trying to become certified here in the state of North Carolina, even though everything was current. We did everything to renew our certification in Virginia before we left because we changed states and they don't use the same training module. We have to start all over and do everything again. So that's been really a pain. I feel like it's taking forever, but then again, during the pandemic, things are just different. So yeah, I feel like all over the place. But I honestly feel like this pregnancy is moving pretty fast now that once like we found out the gender. I feel like the weeks are flying by. We found out baby boy was a boy at 18 weeks and we're over the hill. I mean, we're already halfway through the week. Come Monday, I'll be 22 weeks. So yeah, and he'll be born, if I have a C-section, he'll be born at 39 weeks. Otherwise, even if I don't, I think he'll still be born at 39 or before. So yeah, like I can't believe it. So once January is here, we'll only have 3 more months to go. Wow, it's just so crazy to think about. Like April will be here before you know it, you guys. So that's the update on my appointment. All is well. Hopefully the next appointment, I don't know if I'll be able to film it. But I did ask if Will could go because he's like, I really would like to be at one of these appointments. And they're like, the foreseeable future, there will be no spouses, no partners, nobody else allowed for the foreseeable future at appointments. So glad I'm vlogging. At least Will can be a part of my appointments like you guys are. But he will be able to be in the delivery room. I'll only be allowed one person in the delivery room or the OR. So that is it for my 21 week appointment. Like I said, there's really no such thing as a 21 week appointment, but your provider will see you when they want to see you. But like if you are actually following a schedule, usually you have like 8, 12, 16 week, 20 week appointments, 24 week appointments. Like there's just, I was randomly scheduled at 21 weeks. So, but I'll have to go back in just a few weeks after Christmas. So that is all for this appointment, you guys.